Welcome back to another episode of Married into Crazy with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey,
I'm Snooks.
and we're finishing out the year, kind of rounding things out. And we look forward to hearing all the wonderful things that people did in the year 2022. But we're about to head into 2023. And we thought it would be great for us to actually revisit one of the highest rated shows of the year, and that's Undoing Bad Habits.
And it's also kind of a reminder for Lovey to, to stop doing certain things he seemed to have forgotten.
What's funny is that we were reviewing, the different, basically the analytics and taking a look at what the highest rated ones were. And then as soon as we actually opened this one up and saw the analytics, it was one of the highest, it was the second highest rated. But it also started talking about stuff, and Snooks was like, you should probably go back and listen to that one yourself.
He didn't take very good notes.
Well, we hope that you all took great notes on yourselves and your relationship this past year, and you're talking about how you can make 2023 the best year of your lives together.
Mm-hmm. And, just really take inventory of what it is that you want out of your relationships and set a goal and create a plan.
So this upcoming year is going to be a lot of intentionality, a lot of living intentionally, loving intentionally, and being the best we can possibly be for each other intentionally.
Right.
So without further ado, go ahead and take a listen to one of the highest rated episodes, which was episode 177, Undoing Bad Habits.
You guys have a very happy new year and stay safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Don't come out the gate telling me what I should be doing. What you need to do is, all you got to do is, that's blah, blah. I'm like, oh. And it makes me feel like you just negate my feelings,
But you know what? In those situations, all you need to do is...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point, you realized you were married into crazy.
And that's what our podcast is all about. We offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as we unpack this crazy thing called marriage.
So sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
All right, let's go. Hey everyone, this is Snooks.
And Lovey.
Have you ever felt that you need additional assistance enhancing your intimacy?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, I'm not talking about in the bedroom. I'm talking about making the connection with your partner.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? There's an app for that.
Yeah, and it's called Intimately Us.
I love that app because you know what? You get to play so many different games.
Yeah, you're interrupting. They have Battleship.
And Sexy Twister, which is one of my favorites.
And they also have conversation starters and...
I love the how-to. There's a how-to where you can actually learn techniques and things that you want to try with each other along with this exploration list.
So I was going to say, they also have great date ideas. So if this sounds good to you, download the app at r.intimately.us/MIC.
That's r.intimately.us/MIC.
The link will be in the show notes. Now let's get ready for the podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Married into Crazy with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And this is episode 176. We're trying to remember, what episode is this again? What are we doing? And Snooks was like, just do it. I'm like,
I'm like, just don't say the episode.
I know.
But he has to say it, so it's okay.
I did that for a while, and it just never felt right.
You did what for a while? Not say the episode number?
Yes.
I don't remember.
There's quite a few.
I don't recall.
She doesn't pay attention. She is not part of the production team. So she would not know.
I'm not part of the production team.
You are not.
I am not. He is not. He's telling the story. He's very much telling the truth.
This is going to be a fun topic that we're going to discuss today. But before we even jump into it, just so you know, we're going to be discussing toxic habits.
Why'd you look at me when you said that? Like, am I your toxic habit or something?
You are my toxic habit.
Wow.
No.
But
you're my habit.
Keep it real though. Some people of half the couple is the toxic habit. You're like, how come he just won't leave her? How come she just can't leave him? It's a toxic habit.
True. And what we're going to talk about today is undoing toxic habits. Before we jump into it, though, I want to remind everybody to do us a huge favor. If you would please, it's a major request on our part. Wherever you're listening to us, we're thankful for you. But if you have the ability, go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
And leave a review.
Leave a review, leave a rating.
Put 5 on it.
Put 10 on it if you can. No, we want you to go ahead and do that. That way it helps us out tremendously as far as raising discoverability so we can get more and more people involved in the conversation. We've been doing this for a little while, and we love the community and all the countries that we're in now. But we want to continue to just kind of build that robustness. And we're going to ask that you invite a friend to listen to the podcast. Everyone invite a friend. That's all we're asking. And have them also go to Spotify or Apple Podcast and leave a review and a rating as well.
Yes.
And Facebook.com. If you guys are on Facebook, go ahead and search for Iron Tribe, the marriage community. It's our own personal marriage community. We always talk about building an Iron Tribe, and we want to invite you to come join us on the. Oh, actually, we moved the date because Snooks, giving her time to recover. We were going to have our married vision board activity this past Saturday on the 22nd, but it has been moved to February 5th. And so we would love for all of you or many of you to come and participate so we can build that vision for your marriage in 2022 and beyond.
Yes.
Beyond. I'm trying to get her involved.
I'm sorry.
And then on top of that, the last thing, honestly, is to don't forget, we are marriage coaches. We like to have conversations with other couples and assist you in getting to that next level wherever it may be. Mm-hmm. If you're, if you recognize that, we've got some stuff that we need to work on, let's get you to that next level, whatever it may be. We're not saying we're going to, sit there and overnight you're going to go from being good to phenomenal. But it's one of those things where 1% of improvement goes a long way, particularly when it comes to our marriages and our relationships. So there's nothing wrong with going from average to good, from good to great, from great to phenomenal. We'll do it incrementally, but we'll be there to hold your hand and talk with you and help you and share some of the things that we've learned over time, as well as provide you some of the resources that we have available to us through our affiliation with the Gottman Institute and the things that we're able to get through them in order to share with you as well. So you can also find that on our coaching tab on marriedintocrazy.com.
So Lovey complains that I don't talk as much as he does. But the point of it is, the fact of the matter, I should say, not the point. I like how you sound. So I like to listen to you talk.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call pandering. She is saying that because she's like feeling it. She's like, I just don't really even feel like doing a podcast tonight. So I'm just going to let him talk all night. No, I'm just playing with you. I'm playing.
I'm like, that is messed up.
I'm playing.
I'm still recovering.
She is recovering. And thank you for all the emails, the texts, the messages that have been sent to us via social media. We appreciate each and every one of you for looking out for Snooks after her cardiac event. It was a scary time. And we talked about it in the last podcast, so I'm not going to belabor it. We didn't go into all the detail of the craziness of how I almost had to take down the security guard. We didn't go deep into it.
No, but I will say, again, I'm very thankful, and we're still getting emails saying that they're, praying for recovery, for full recovery, and just thankful that we're here. It was good to hear our voices. Someone said, it was so good to see you smiling.
Oh, yeah. We also are moderators for the Thank God I'm Married group that's run by Dr. Eric Thomas. So we're one of several moderators that run it. And last night was our opportunity it was our turn to actually lead the group. And that was nice for people across the nation to be like, oh, we're so happy to see you guys. Yeah. I think they're more happy to see her than they were me, of course.
I don't think so. People like you better than they like me. It's all right.
No, they tolerate me because they like you.
No, they tolerate me because they like you. I tell everyone that. People will tolerate me because they love them some Lovey.
Well, one thing we talked about last night, we want to jump into it is, habits. Everyone's going into the new year, and we talk about creating new habits, right? Sometimes it's in the form of, what do they call it? New Year's resolutions?
Resolutions. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing that I think that everyone, all of our hearts and minds are in good spaces when we say I'm starting over, New Year's resolution, because we've recognized or we've identified some areas that we know I might need to change that a little bit. That's not that behavior is toxic, even if they don't use the word toxic.
True.
You know, because why else would you see fit to change something? That means that there's something going on. Maybe something that you kind of don't you don't want to you don't want to do. So okay, let me just tell you how in sync Lovey and I are. You went that way to cough, and I felt your cough coming on. I said, anyway. So just getting back to it, let's just talk about what is a habit anyway.
Well, that's really a habit. All a habit is really is exactly what everyone talks about when it comes to resolutions. I'm going to do X, Y, Z. What you're talking about really is you want to create new habits. Mm-hmm. So it says, I'm going to lose 25 pounds, and the way I'm going to do it. So people have these ultimate things like I'm going to lose X, Y, Z pounds, or I'm going to eat healthier, and those are the big umbrella statements. The habits are the things that we do in order to accomplish those things.
I was about to say to get you there or to take you to the total opposite of where you want to go. So just the whole thing, case in point, about because I'm notorious for, I'm starting out the beginning. It may not be the beginning of the year, but it's the beginning of either the week or the month. I'm starting out. I'm going to eat healthy because I'm going to lose 20 pounds. But I'm either going to lose the 20 pounds by creating better habits, or I'm going to keep the same 20 pounds and add a few more on by some of the toxicity of the habits that I have, eating the wrong things. Everything in moderation is good, but sometimes I tend to eat my feelings. If I'm stressed, I would eat. Not so much if I'm bored, but
no, we do. It's a mood. It's like, it's a stress level. It could be some people drink when they stress, or they go out and they smoke, or some people try and identify different things that they need to change. But if I want to give you a visual, think about, remember the movie Rocky when Rocky was like sitting there working out, and then there's that iconic scene when Rocky's running up the stairs, and he gets to the top, and he raises his arms, and he's like, I did it. That's that kind of move. Well, the goal might have been to get to the top of the stairs so you can sit there and do the Rocky pose and do all that. But each one of those steps that you step on in order to get there, those are the habits, because you have to take one more step at a higher level. Mm-hmm. Same thing. So a habit is nothing more than the choices that all of us deliberately make at some point, and then stop thinking about it, but continue doing it, sometimes day after day.
Like you said, brushing your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Brushing your teeth is a habit of
is a hygiene habit. We hoping is a hygiene habit.
More times than
taking a shower. Is this something like you said you just do? You don't even think about it. Like, I just know I got to do it.
See, subconscious things that we do. And in the very beginning, they're very conscious. It's like, okay, I want to change some habits, or I want to change the way I do things. So I have to make this conscious, concerted effort to make a change. Instead of reaching for that tub of ice cream at 9 p.m. so I can sit down and watch my favorite show, instead of doing that, when I watch my favorite show at every commercial break, I'm going to do 5 push-ups. Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to, I don't know, instead of this big old tub of ice cream, I'm going to step it down a little bit. And maybe what I'll do is I'll get some yogurt that I'm going to eat instead. Shouldn't be eating at 9 o'clock, but we'll deal with that later. Right now, I just want to make the behavior change from ice cream
to yogurt. Then maybe from yogurt to cucumbers or something like that.
Right, exactly. And then maybe it's like, okay, no longer at 9 p.m. Maybe now I want to make sure I don't do any of that before, after 8 p.m. Mm-hmm. Then maybe, down the road, change it up a little bit, get it to 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and what is a toxic habit? A toxic habit are those bad habits that can be unhealthy
or undesirable.
Right. It's those things that we just don't want to do. And unhealthy is pretty straightforward. Undesirable might be.
I'm like, because a toxic habit can be desirable. I mean, that's why people continue to do them.
True. That's true.
So, I mean, it's undesirable from a healthy standpoint, but if it, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, it can be something that I desire in the moment, but can create an undesirable effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, oof, I need a nightcap every single night. It's just something I do. It's a habit every night. I drink, a 2-finger shot of whiskey. I like doing that. I consider that desirable. But then I go to my doctor. My doctor says, oh, you got fatty liver. And you need to stop doing that drinking because it's taking a toll on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's causing some issues with your kidneys because you're
Right.
drinking so much. Then it's like, ooh, okay, I need to, even though I like doing it, it's desirable to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing up in an undesirable manner. It's
Mm-hmm.
manifesting itself in my body.
Manifesting in an undesirable, just like the whole weight gain thing, So, yeah.
And the reason why we bring this up, okay, I know this is about couples and all that, because each and every one of us has some habits that are undesirable to our mates. There's some things that we do that just drive them nuts.
You just got to talk about the cabinets, huh?
No, okay, but since you brought it up, that's not even truly an undesirable. I mean, at this point, it's just a joke. It's real. It does drive me nuts, but it's nothing major.
Right. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. So next time you complain about me, like, it's nothing major, remember?
And if those of you that are new, what she's talking about is Snooks has this uncanny ability to open up a cabinet, both doors, and completely forget to close them. But she'll open up 2 more drawers in the process. And I'll walk in the kitchen.
Everything open.
Drawers are open,
goodness.
cabinets are open, and she's sitting on the couch. I'm like, wait, whoa. What is going on here? Why are these not closed? Oh, I was going to get to that later. It's like, no. See, that drives me nuts. And she does it on purpose.
Whatever.
Oh, maybe it's just a habit.
Maybe
it's just a habit.
It is a habit. It's a habit. Let me get what I'm going to get and then can keep it moving.
And let me tell
my
you
hand is not still on the thing when I find what I'm looking for. All bets are off.
That's so toxic. Because it drives me nuts. And I'm like, But over the years, over the last 25 years, I've learned to just be like, you know what? It's become a joke at this point.
So you just close them, right?
I generally do.
Okay.
Loudly.
Yes, he does do that. Lovey's 5 sometimes, so.
If not 3.
At least you admit it.
And it's funny. So what we want to do is, let's not use that, but let's use my bad habit.
Of saying what I should do?
Right. I'd be shitting all over
Lovey be shitting all over me all the time. I got the hiccups.
You got hiccups?
Just like that, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness. So Lovey, I mean, I think we've talked about this kind of before. He has a thing where, sorry, I don't think it's just a Lovey thing. It's a guy thing, maybe.
Maybe.
Because it seems like more guys seem to admit that, they do this more than, some women. I know some women that do it also, but Love likes to tell me what I should do.
I was trying to scare away the hiccups. It didn't work. So what I have a tendency to do, Snooks will come home and I'll ask, so, hey, how was your day? And first off, why'd you lean into my mic to start coughing?
Oh, because I was facing this way. I put my hand over my mouth.
All close to my mic.
And I dropped down.
Anyway, so I'll have a tendency to say stuff like, oh, what you need to do is this. You'll complain about something happening at work or school or with a friend or, whatever. There's a situation, whatever it may be. And I've had a tendency in the past to come out the gates with, what you need to do is, or, what I would do is, or
all you got to do is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need you to tell me what to do. It used to irritate me so bad when he did that. Because I used to think, does he think I'm stupid or something? Like I can't figure this out myself. I'm just coming to you and I'm sharing, So once we had our powwow about the way that makes me feel, I had to really, I think we kind of talked about it too, about the emotions that are played into it. I had to really think about, why does this irritate me so much? And it was because I was taking his impromptu advice very personal, because it always made me feel like he thought I was stupid and I didn't know how to navigate or do whatever. I'm just like, no, I'm sharing with you. And if I ask your opinion, that's one thing, but don't come out the gate telling me what I should be doing. What you need to do is, well, all you got to do is, oh, that's blah, blah. I'm like, and it makes me feel like you just negate my feelings, you know?
But you know what? In those situations, all you need to do was no. Seriously, it was a major issue, and it was a very bad habit that I had, and and let's be honest, it's not completely gone.
No, it's not completely gone, but it doesn't bother me as much
Do I do
because
it as much?
mm, I think you're more aware. You stop yourself probably more. And now he asks permission if he can tell me what I should do. And so, I'll allow it most of the time. Sometimes like, no, you cannot say anything.
It's not that I ask for permission. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll ask, okay, do you want me to listen to help solve, or you just want me to listen for the sake of just listening, giving you a sounding board? And she's like, I just need you to listen. Okay, cool. And even though inside I'm like, ooh, I got the answer. Ooh, I could tell her what to do right now, but I'm not going to.
Habit.
Not going to. I'm not going to.
Habit change.
But the thing is, the habit's not gone. The urge is still there. It's about managing those urges, right? So study after study. There's a book out there, first off, called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. And one of the things, and it's just all this data that's been compiled, and they're talking about how to really affect change in your life by changing your habits. And study after study has shown that you can never truly extinguish bad habits. Rather, to change a habit, you have to keep the old cue or the trigger, right?
Okay.
And then you still deliver whatever that reward may be, whatever you were seeking, but you insert a new routine. So, like, for instance, we're talking about me and you and how I have a tendency to just kind of want to solve everything, which irritates you to no end. So, I guess the reward that I would be looking for is to feel as if I've contributed and I've been able to help you solve whatever the challenge may be.
You had your cape on.
I had my cape on and I fixed it.
There you go.
I'm the man.
You're the man.
But the cue is like you being upset, you being frustrated, and I ask you how your day is, and then the moment that happens, I'm like, okay, something's going on. What's wrong? And you start to tell me that's my cue. The cue remains the same, but my journey or my routine, if you will, to get to the I'm the man has to change. It went from, okay, I'm just going to provide you with this easy solution that you should have thought of, blah, 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 or it's right here in front of you, to, okay, well, I'm just here to listen. And it might tear me up a little bit to be like, not offer. Now, does it happen all the time? I'd say 85% of the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think about 85% of the time, I'll just listen. I'll ask, do you want me to help problem solve, or do you want me to just listen? But there's that 15 to 20% where if it's something big or I feel like it needs immediate attention, I'll be like, I know you didn't ask, but.
I wouldn't say 80. I wouldn't go up that high, actually. I'd say 90% of the time, you're more like, okay, and so we both changed some things. Lovey started asking, and then sometimes I just come out the gate and be like, I just need you to listen. I don't want you to solve anything. I just want you to listen. So it does cut down on that,
That frustration.
Well, I had to remove my personal feelings from it also. I had to think, why am I so emotional about, or why do I get so upset about it? Sometimes the habit, or we have to think about our own, our own emotional, whatever we got going on, to figure out, why does this thing that he does bother me so much? And like I said, it was personal to me because I'm like, does he think I'm dumb? But that also, if I'm being 100% transparent, that also had something to do with my own self-esteem, whatever, in certain areas about, like for a long time, I wanted to go back to school and get my degree. And because that meant something. You've accomplished something. And by no way do I think that anyone who doesn't have a degree hasn't accomplished anything. This is my own personal thing that I have for my own self. So you mix that in with the you're always giving me advice when I ain't asking for it, and the personal feelings and stuff like that. I was like, huh? What the heck?
It was like my actions were convicting you.
Already playing on my own
Self-conviction, right?
Exactly. So remove that, and so now I'm like, okay, he really does just think he knows everything.
I really do, but no, not at all. But
not at all. But no, I had to. It doesn't bother me like it used to. Now I could just be like, mm. And sometimes he'll still go in, and I'm like, oh my God, Lovey, stop. And so he doesn't get mad when I do that either. So he's like, okay, I know, I'm sorry.
It's true. And here's the thing, though. Again, we're talking about changing habits, particularly toxic habits. And what are those things? This is going to require you to have some introspection, to really take a look at yourself and dig deep. It's like, what are some of the things that I know I do that bothers my spouse? It might be I leave my underwear on the floor or my socks or whatever, when all I got to do is just pick them up and put them in. But why do I do that? Why? What triggers? So what's the trigger? I come home, I'm tired. I just want to get out of these clothes. And then it's like, okay, I'm just going to take them off. Okay, I'm so tired. You know what? I just need to relax. I'll come back upstairs and I'll pick them up. Or I'll come back in the bedroom and I'll pick them up. But then you never do. And so before you can even get back to the clothes, your spouse goes in. It's like, and there he goes again, or there she goes again. They did this all over again. And that's the routine, right? And you just want to relax. The reward is relax. But you got to tell yourself, okay, I know I do this, and I know it bothers him or her, so let me change. The cue remains the same. I come home, I'm tired, I need to get out of these clothes. That's the cue. That's the trigger. The old routine was, I was going to take them off and leave them where they are, and I'll deal with it later. I just want to go sit down on the couch, watch some reruns of the game, catch Sports Center, whatever. New routine is, I'm going to take the clothes off, leave them wherever they are. Well, oh, no, you know what? Let me just take 30 seconds to walk across the room and put them in the dirty clothes. It doesn't hurt anything. And you know what? I get myself a Scooby snack because I took care of that. And now I still get to go downstairs and relax and do what I need to do.
And you get to relax longer because you don't have the spouse coming back to you saying anything about why you did this or why you did that, or you always, here you go again, whatever. 30 seconds, a minute, even 10 minutes, I think, is worth it when you think long term, because once she or he notices your changed behavior, they might be like, oh, okay. So let me be more cognizant of what maybe I'm doing something that he or she does not like. You know what I mean? So it's just rewards everywhere, all the way around.
You know what? You make a valid point because
thank you. I
a lot
appreciate
of times
you.
The routine shift isn't a dramatic shift. It really is only 1%. If you think 100%, I can do something completely different. I can hang up the clothes and iron them and wash them right there in the moment. That would be way overboard, 100%. But you're thinking, okay, well, I take them off, and all I got to do is just throw the stuff in the dirty clothes or whatever you're supposed to do. That's just 1% of a change. And if you do that consistently, you do that today, you do it tomorrow, you do it this week, you do it next week, you do that thing 3 weeks in a row. Next thing you know, it's like, it's really not that bad. And you know what? I don't get as much drama. When I'm trying to catch up on my show on Netflix or whatever, she's not coming in talking about, I just need to talk to you right now because, and you're like, oh my goodness, you pull that whole Dave Chappelle. Why is it every time we got to talk about something, it's about something I did? Now you just get to relax because you've negated that.
But also, if you think of it in terms of, not just in terms of clothes or cleaning the house or whatever it is, once you change the routine, there's not a lot of buildup either later on. Because when the routine is bad, we still have the cue, we still have the reward, but the routine is bad. Now, after the reward, though, there's the buildup. There's a whole bunch of Gotta unclutter, gotta this, gotta that. If it's your clothes, oh my God, now I gotta clean up. Because you're not gonna just do it one time. Typically, you're gonna leave the clothes there, and it's gonna become a pile. Or you're gonna leave the dishes there, that might become a pile. You're not gonna do something, or the talk that you're supposed to have, or whatever. Then that's gonna become a mountain. Or you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Then you start stonewalling. There's all these different things that super, super, super valid point. That once you get past the reward was to relax, right? To sit down, and even though you sit there and you relax, there's an aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, okay, now she's catching feelings, like, oh, I'm just so mad because you never listen to me, and you can't do that. You can't do that one little thing, and that thing snowballs into something else, and then it starts, in that old cartoon, the snowball as it's getting bigger and bigger, it starts picking up everything in its path.
Avalanche. Mm-hmm.
And so now it went from the clothes to, and you don't help out in the kitchen. And there's that time, this time last year when you forgot, the anniversary. And there was that time that, all these things start picking up steam. And you can avoid all that just by simply working on the routine.
Mm-hmm.
And we're emphasizing this quite a bit because it's not just about the little contrite things. There's some true behavioral changes that need to take place in the great majority of us. Like, how do you speak to your in-laws? Do you get into a fight with certain individuals? Do you get into it with their the spouse's friends? Do you? I mean, there's all these different. I mean, and maybe for good reason. Like, well, you don't understand. Johnny is just a horrible person. Whatever. But there's so many different things that this can be applied to. And see, there's a thing called the habit loop, and it goes round and round. Mm-hmm. And it can be applied to every area of your life when you feel as if, I need to adjust my habits for a better outcome. Whether it's just your health, your finances, your parenting, your relationship going into 2022 and beyond. Everything starts with a cue or a trigger. There's a cue that starts the process. It's that thing where, like when you're playing a pinball machine, the old pinball machines, the cue is you hit the ball, you pull back, and it snaps the ball and it puts the ball in play. Your cue is the thing that puts everything in motion. I say something, and then it starts a cue that you didn't like, and you respond a certain way. Mm-hmm. Or the cue is, I come home, I'm tired. Cue could be a variety of things. But you go from that cue, and it starts this routine. The routine has generally been the thing that, good or bad, happens in order to get you the reward, whatever it is you're ultimately seeking. Whether it's relaxation, you want to feel good, you want to take your mind off something, or you want to look better, lose some pounds, whatever it may be. And there's a variety of ways of getting there, but it's about adjusting the routine. And so once the reward has been established, your mind subconsciously says, got the reward. Routine wasn't all that bad. Survived it. Okay, so note to self, every time this cue comes up, let's do this routine so I can get that reward because I kind of like that reward. And then you do it over and over and over again.
It's kind of like Pavlov's, the dogs. Was it Pavlov?
Oh, yeah. Pavlov's response. When he would ring the bell in order to get the dogs to salivate and want to, eat their food. So every time he rang the bell, they knew they were going to eat, so they would start to salivate. Pretty soon, stop feeding them, not altogether, but would ring the bell at odd times, and they would just start to salivate, or they would think it's time to eat. Because they're programmed. This is all about programming, and it's all about reprogramming ourselves, not just for the resolutions, but also reprogramming ourselves to have better outcomes when it comes to our relationships.
Yeah. So just like you talk about the cue, we'll use watching TV, like you said.
Okay.
So I'm watching TV. I'm bored. Not bored, but okay, whatever. I'm just watching TV. And my routine is when I'm watching TV, I'm going to go get some chips. Because I like to have something to snack on, or maybe it is boredom. Okay. But the reward is the satisfaction. Okay, I feel good now, after I ate the chips. But if I change the routine, instead of eating chips, maybe I do 5 push-ups. Well, I can't do push-ups, but you know what I mean? I still have the same, and I get the sense of reward, because satisfaction, because now I did something healthy and I feel good about it. So, all right, next commercial or next whatever, I'm going to, instead of getting some chips while I watch TV or whatever, being bored, I'm going to do 5 push ups.
Like every commercial break or something?
Maybe not every commercial break, but maybe every other commercial break. Commercials come quite frequently.
But no, that's a good point. And you just said something I thought was interesting. When you said, "Oh well, I wouldn't do 5 push-ups because I can't do 5 push-ups," but there's that sense of satisfaction, right? It's like, okay, well, I can only do 1 push-up, and then what if in several days or a week, it's, ooh, I did 2.
I did, yeah, yeah. So now it becomes a challenge for myself, because I'm competitive even with me. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do those 5 or whatever. So then, once I get it done, I'm very satisfied. So 1 will satisfy me in the moment, the chips, and the other one will satisfy me. It'll be in the moment also, but the rewards from it are ongoing, because if I keep doing push-ups, my arms are going to develop. I'm going to get my shoulders. I'm going to, and it's going to be heading towards that fitness journey that,
Right.
And
and let's just say if you're out there like, I'm not gonna do no push-ups. Well, maybe it's not eating potato chips. Maybe like, okay, I need to switch it up. I really like to just crunch on something while I'm watching my favorite show. I do so much throughout the day. I deserve this, but I need to do something just a little different. Maybe it's, what you've done is you've cut up some cucumbers. And you're, still crunchy, but it's a little bit healthier, a lot healthier.
a lot of bit healthier.
And it's a good vegetable. It's got all kinds of resources to it. I'm going to have these cucumber slices that I'm going to start to eat instead. And you say, I'm going to eat 10 cucumber slices when I watch my show. And then, so you chop it up and you're ready to go. And when that cue, if I'm sitting there watching my show, instead of going for the chips, I'm now going for the cucumbers or the kale chips. Or something else that you've put in its place. Or I've got some baked chickpeas that are going to be that much more nutritious for me. Still give me that sensation of a crunch or what have you. But it's about replacing that middle thing. See, here's the thing. If you make time to identify like the emotion or the feeling or sensation that is creating the cue or the thing that you're really wanting to experience, when you can identify the onset, oh, it's time for my show. That's identifying the onset. It's time for my show. Okay, let me go grab my cucumbers instead of let me grab it back. You identify what it is. You can actively change your routine once you identify the onset. So you're not basically sabotaging yourself.
Like I do at the movies.
Every single time.
Yeah. I'm a popcorn girl. I gotta have popcorn, red vines, and a soda to watch a movie.
Gotta have. Not I want. She said I gotta have.
I gotta have it. Oh my gosh! I remember one time we went to the movies, and we watched What Dreams May Come. I will never forget this. And somehow I left my Visa card at the house, and Lovey didn't have his. And so I was like, where's my card at? Whatever. And so we watched that movie with no snacks. That was the worst movie ever because I didn't have any snacks. So it's funny. I associate popcorn movies with popcorn, soda, and red vines. And if I don't have any of that, then I'm just like, I can't.
Well, what's funny is, see, I think that's toxic because you're looking at the popcorn and the candy and the soda and all that. But it's a bit of a reward.
It's moderation.
Yeah, true. Everything in moderation. And we don't go to the movies often.
No.
Not very often at all. So, I can allot you that. But if somebody wanted to change, you would just switch it up. It's like, okay, I just got to find, going to the movies, I got to find something that I can, crunch on or eat while I'm at the movies that's going to give me the satisfaction of snacking in the movie, but is going to be a little bit more healthy for me.
Mm-hmm. Like if I wanted to do a trail mix kind of thing like we have.
Ooh, you going to do trail mix next time?
Absolutely not. I said if I wanted to.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, no.
So here's how it works. What we're going to challenge everybody to do is identify one thing, just one, There might be a laundry list, but pick one thing that, let's put it this way, do some introspection and then identify one thing that you can do differently that will please your spouse. It might be just, you want to change a habit, whatever it may be. It might be something like picking up your clothes. It might be, you know what, I walk in that, here's a bad habit. Snooks wants me to take my shoes off. Everybody take their shoes off when they walk on the carpet. Mm-hmm. Everyone does it. Everyone takes their shoes off except me. I'm the one like, oh yeah, I get around to it, but I eventually do. And so one thing I can do, this is going to be the one. I'm going to make sure I take my shoes off in the laundry room no matter what. I will put down whatever it is I have in my hands, and I will take my shoes off before I come out of the laundry room.
Okay.
And I will work on that for the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because I know it will make you happy.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I appreciate that.
It is a habit that I need to change.
I don't, it doesn't bother me now. One way or the other.
She says that, but I get the looks.
No, well, I mean, if it's rainy outside or something like that, everybody gets the look. I don't care if you did wipe your feet out there and take them shoes off, but.
I will work on it.
Okay.
And so here's what you do. You use the same cue, right, like we just talked about. The cue would be coming home, walking through the door. As soon as I walk into the laundry room, the cue needs to be like, okay, take your shoes off. The reward is going to be that I'm finally doing something Snooks has been wanting me to do for years. And I can sit there and be like, okay, one less thing for you to fuss at me about. And all I'm doing is changing the routine. And it really is a simple change. So I don't know why I haven't done it in the past. People listening like, he's a jerk. He should have did that a long time ago. And so that's what it is. Do you want to volunteer any habit changes?
No.
Nope. What you see is what you get.
I'm perfectly fine leaving the drawers open.
Man, I was so close.
I will work on that. She's
lying. She's
I'm
so
not.
lying.
What?
She's so lying.
I said I will.
And what's going to happen?
Promise.
She's gonna do it,
Pinky
and then I'm gonna
promise.
miss. No, I'm not gonna pinky promise, because then I'm gonna miss the cabinets and the drawers being open.
You'd be like, "Are you okay?"
Pretty much.
What's wrong? I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
That's the goal for this week. Look, let's change some toxic habits. Whatever you identify in your relationship, whatever's going on, and you think that something needs to change, go back to this episode, listen to it again, and what you want to do is identify the cue, the routine, and the reward that's being sought. How are you trying to feel? How are you trying to look? What response are you trying to elicit? And then backtrack. Okay, what's my routine that will get me there? What am I doing that's toxic? What can I do alternatively and still achieve the same reward? And what is the cue that sets everything off? Give it some time, give it some thought. Start working on it.
Yes.
So I keep looking at her to give her an opportunity to speak, and she just does not jump in.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about.
So,
I honestly was thinking about. Okay, what can I do? I don't know. I want. I want everyone to keep a journal.
I ain't doing that.
You should keep a journal.
I'm not gonna keep a journal.
Okay.
That's one more thing I got to do. I'm not a journal guy. I've tried and tried.
I ain't doing that.
I ain't doing that. I ain't going out there.
It's cold. I ain't going out there.
Hey, look, y'all, we appreciate each and every one of you for listening in. Tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your cousin, tell everybody about the Married and Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. And until the next time,
be blessed.
bye.
Bye-bye.